Hi, I'm Jason Inman.
And I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson.
And we're here to review Supergirl, Season 3, Episode 14, Shot Through the Heart. And if you haven't seen this super episode, you might want to come back later because there will be spoilers.
Following the death of his father, Winn must work with his estranged mother to stop a copycat toy man.
Okay, let's work through this episode. You know, Supergirl's been off the air for a while because we had the switcheroo with Legends of Tomorrow. And when Supergirl came back, I did not expect them to open the episode with a karaoke night. Now, I don't have any problems with a karaoke night, but I do have problems with them holding on the karaoke night for at least 7 minutes.
First of all,
woo!
Flash has done karaoke a number of times, and it was stupid there.
And so is Supergirl. Remember we had the Flash Supergirl musical episode?
Yes, and it was stupid here. Nobody did karaoke better than Legends when we introduced Wally. And, you know,
Careless Whisper.
We have a number. Is that what that song is called?
Yeah, they sung Careless Whisper.
I don't know what that song is actually called. We have a number of people in the Supergirl cast who are professionally trained singers.
Jeremy Jordan.
And Melissa Benoist.
Yep.
So,
and Jeremy Jordan.
And Kyler Lee. And
don't forget Jeremy Jordan.
To have them go up there and purposefully suck.
Yeah.
I just thought was.
There was some pleasure in seeing Carl Lumbly try to sing I think it was a Neil Diamond song.
He's a treat. He's a joy. He can do no wrong.
But it just went
so long.
It went very long, and then the tone of the episode was very weird because we're going to start off with this super silly, we're all having fun, girls' night, woo! Yes, I called it girls' night even though there are men with it. Just get over it. But it's him seeing that his dad died on TV.
Yeah,
which should be a pretty serious moment.
It should be a serious moment. We kind of talked about this as the episode was airing. I mean, when huge criminals die, sometimes it is a news piece.
Yep.
Like, to me, it wasn't strange that it was appearing on the news, but that was a vehicle that we chose to give one of the most important characters on the show.
Instead of a phone call, a letter, a state official.
Instead of literally anything else. I think Jeremy Jordan does a really good job in this episode. I think he handles a lot of emotionally complex and difficult scenes with a great performance. I kind of think, like Stephen Amell, he's grown to be a really great actor.
Well, now that they've given him something to do.
Right. I was not a fan of him when we first met Winn. And he's dealing with a lot of poorly constructed scenes and poorly written dialogue around what theoretically could have been an interesting episode.
Well, also let's go back to the interesting episode aspect of this, because in the next scene we see the funeral scene, and there we get to meet his mom, played by Laurie Metcalf from Roseanne, also Lady Bird. She is an amazing actress. She's an Oscar nominee.
Actually, kind of looks like she could be his mom too. Good casting.
I actually think she's a great casting choice, because not only is she a great dramatic actor, she also can do humor. She's a comedic actor, which would fit to me with Shot. The problem is that I don't think this episode ever gives her anything to sink her teeth into.
I would agree, and I think they're trying to write humorous lines because they know that they have this legendary comedian working with them.
He's the Quip King.
And I think they come in poor taste. And I think because, again, like, when she's like, gallows humor never killed anyone except the people on the gallows, literally in the wake of someone's death, whether or not they meant something to you, and obviously that you had a child with this person. I think that's just in such poor taste. And then there's moments when they're working on the monkey where the joke doesn't work. And I felt bad for her.
Well, there was a moment that I did think worked. Jeremy Jordan talked about a great scene where he is talking about the night that his dad snapped.
That was a great scene.
And he was stuck in the police station waiting for his mom to come. One of the best pieces of writing in this entire episode. I thought it was a good character moment, which is something that we don't usually get with Winn. We don't usually get revealing character moments with Winn, but then they followed it up by having flying monkeys attack, and they give us so many slow motion shots of Jimmy nunchucking flying monkeys. Yeehaw!
I also, is the flying monkey a Kansas joke?
Yes.
And is the choice of a song by the band Kansas a Kansas joke?
Yes. It's intentional.
And I thought it was weird. I thought the choice of flying monkeys I thought was specifically odd. And it's not a traditional Toyman trope.
No.
And it's not a traditional Superman/Supergirl trope. I think there are other weird alien robot construct things that we could have shown instead of the flying monkeys.
But there is one good thing to come out of this.
That one shot where Supergirl drops down from the ceiling and spins around?
No. There is a nice little beat between Laurie Metcalf and Melissa Benoist, Shot's mom and Supergirl, where she says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad are flying monkeys in your day-to-day life? And she goes, about a 2. And I thought that was a nice... I liked it because, you know, in these worlds of superheroes, we don't get to experience the person on the street. And Laurie Metcalf in this episode is very much, she's a stranger to this world. So for her, flying monkeys would be like super weird.
Yeah.
But to Supergirl, flying monkeys just like, it's pretty tame. So I appreciated that moment between the normal person and Supergirl.
I also really liked this scene because Supergirl is a show that obviously has a female lead, and they like to, with a character like Sam and with Lena, be very heavy-handed about the bond that two women have, to the point where they're forcing them and they're giving them character moments that they don't deserve. This is a scene that accomplishes that very subtly. This is a scene that I think you could only have between two women who share these specific relationships to this male character, and I thought it was a very nice scene. All
right, let's talk about the John Jones storyline.
Okay.
Carl Lumbly has Martian Alzheimer's. And we also get to have the conversation that I'm very interested in why it took us 3 seasons to have this conversation, where Alex asked both of them, basically, specifically John Jones, why did you choose to be a black man in America? And now he explains, he's like, oh, Hank Henshaw, like that was a point, and then I just, I don't want to hide my face. And then Carl Lumbly's like, I followed to be my son. This, to me, I don't know, it came off as a little weird. This came off as a conversation that we should have had in season 1.
I definitely agree. And part of me wonders, I don't know what the production schedule was like.
Sure.
And I'm certainly not going to speak that, but part of me wonders if the writers knew that Black Lightning was coming and felt like they should address that, because in season 1, we had a line from Jimmy where Supergirl's talking about her anger and how nobody likes angry women, and he says, well, do you think as a man of color in the States that I'm allowed to be angry either?
Yeah.
Like, we've skirted around that issue.
And this episode, if Supergirl had been allowed to continue, would have aired pretty close, I think, to the pilot.
Yeah.
Black Lightning.
Yeah. So I wonder if or maybe, I don't know, there was like some magic in the air, but I wonder if Black Lightning is what brought on this conversation.
Could have.
I honestly wish that the Martian storyline had been its own episode, or had been the A-plot, because
like
I
usual.
found this more arresting, more interesting, and more affecting.
And it basically takes place all in a dining room.
Yeah, than anything else. And it just really, Carl Lumbly's a dream. He's so good.
We then get to find the scene about Mary and Shot's father met in Ivytown, which is Ray Palmer's hometown. And there's the story of her husband, his father, running her off the road, and her hiding it from Wynn. I thought this was a great scene, and I thought it was very illuminating about what it would have been like to be married to a crazy supervillain. It took us 30 minutes to get to this scene, though.
Right, this scene should have come at, I don't know, the 15-minute
Because
mark?
most of this episode is Shot being like, get out of here, Mom. Get out of here, Mom. Get out of here, Mom.
Well, the turn, it's a hard left turn that we're suddenly having an episode about Alzheimer's and then DV.
Yep.
And if it had, by this point, I was on Wynn's side. I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
Like,
she's been gone for 20 years.
See you later, 2 ads. And that,
bye, Laurie Metcalf.
Again, that's a really well-written speech, a really well-acted speech. And if it had come earlier, it would have meant more.
Yep.
That's all.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go on a little bit of a long rant here.
Okay.
Because we meet Toyman's apprentice.
Oh, boy.
Laurie Metcalf shows up. She gets eaten by a stupid claw machine. We find out it's the maintenance lady from the prison who loves her, or loved him, excuse me.
Never says her name.
Never says her name. And then, so we team up to go get Mom because Mom is on a bad video, of course, because the villains got to broadcast their intentions. So we go to the Carnival House of Horrors. We see planes. We see people getting molded into plastic. We see a damn dinosaur because they have the CGI model on Flash now.
I hate the DC TV dinosaur.
I'm gonna put a moratorium right now on all the DC TV shows because I know you're all watching. And Mr. Greg Berlanti, hello. Stop doing House of Horror episodes. They do not work in live action. They come off as stupid, and they make your show look like Batman 66. Do you want your show to be about fighting giant typewriters every week? We are past this trope. This trope is of the Silver Age. This trope works in cartoons. It does not work in live action. So, Flash, I'm looking at you, Flash.
Which we had with Prank.
I've frickin' seen you do this. And Supergirl, thank God Arrow hasn't done it. They've gone close with Cupid, but they haven't done it yet. I'm watching you, Arrow, and I'm watching you, Black Lightning. Legends, go crazy. But
yeah, Legends is the one that's allowed to.
Make it Bebo and I'm fine. But Supergirl, stop. These do not come off as threatening. It makes your show campy as frack. It really, really does. There's my rant. Ran over.
There you go.
You talk. What did you think about this? The stupid. I'm so mad. I thought it was stupid.
The final act turn of this episode is a mess. It's awful, and considering the middle of this episode drops these two
very serious,
very real world, and we, if you've watched these reviews, we like it when superhero stuff deals with real world issues.
Yeah.
So to start goofy, get real serious, and end goofy.
I mean, we have a scene where Jimmy and Win are running, and it's like, and I'm like, what? What is happening?
We literally have Mon-El doing Toro.
Yes.
That culminates in a scene where Kara's like, teach me your cape tricks. Like, I know that they're dating, but can we please move past the Mon-El story? Can we just kill him and bring back Brainiac? Because at least that kid is making interesting choices, and God bless him for putting up with the makeup.
All right. I think that's enough of a rant there. Okay, so 2, we end with a weird scene. We go back to the karaoke bar. Win takes Mom to karaoke.
And has to pretend he can't sing.
I think they could have had this scene in any other location. Let's move on.
Yeah.
And then we learn that the Third World Killer is the secret that the Legion has been fighting. The Third World Killer turns into the Blight, which is a great Legion villain. Okay, I guess. All right, cool. Not that big of a secret. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And Lena is evil. We knew it. All right, cool. All right, let's go straight into the rating based on a scale of 1 to 5. Ashley, what do you give this episode of Shot Through the Heart? Name for the karaoke.
Just for the title, I should give you a 1. Because that's a parody on a terrible, terrible song.
All right, then.
By John Bon Jovi. The only saving graces of this episode are Carl Lumley, Jeremy Jordan, and the lady from Roseanne, whose name I forgot.
Laurie Metcalf.
Because they have a few really well-penned speeches that they managed to give great performances to amidst just a mess and an underdeveloped concept. I think there's a good episode hiding in here.
There's a good episode idea in here.
I don't think we got it. I'm going to give it a 2.5. It was okay. How about you?
You heard my rant. Most of this episode, I found myself being bored. It is not a terrible episode. It's not the worst episode of Supergirl ever, but it never gets above mediocre. And Toyman is an interesting idea that this show has never explored. Even in the season 1 episode where Toyman shows up, having the son of Toyman be one of your main characters could have been this very interesting storyline subtext underneath the main storyline, a la what Cisco went through when he discovered that he was a metahuman. Remember how fascinating that storyline was done?
Or Oliver's ongoing relationship with Slade?
Yes, but we've only gotten 2 episodes, and both of them were bad. So in that respect, why did you name this character Shot? It was stupid to name him Shot because you never have taken advantage of this storyline. I think it's a very forgettable episode of Supergirl, but not the worst. So that's why it gets a 2. All right, so go down in the comments and tell us what you thought about Supergirl's return back to the airwaves. And while you're down there, click subscribe.
And for more exclusive geeky content, check out patreon.com/Jawiin and join us in the Hall of Justice.
One thing I can promise is that this channel will never have a funhouse. Guaranteed.